Welcome back to another video. If you are new to our channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and go check out our Instagram pages where I post daily photos and updates on a lot of our animals. So today's video is not exactly a happy one. It's not something that I enjoy doing, but it's something that has to be done because we love keeping reptiles. And because we breed our own rats, it becomes necessary. And that is euthanizing our rats to feed to our snakes. We still do fresh kill or frozen thawed. That is what we choose to do. Most of our snakes have been on that since they were babies. We don't have anything on live at this point. And the things that we acquired that were on live, we have switched over pretty successfully. So that is the way we're gonna do it for now because I do not enjoy killing my rats. I absolutely love my rats, but that is why we have set up a euthanization chamber that I'm gonna show you in a second. All the necessary things that you would need to set one up of your own if you choose to breed rats and this is the route you wanna take. So first, I'm gonna show you all of the supplies that you would need to set up your own euthanization chamber. So if you hear little people in the background, they are all sitting nicely doing their homeschool work. Oh, really? Sillies. All of the supplies that we use to make this euthanization chamber will be linked in the description down below, so you can go check those out for yourself. You don't necessarily have to do it exactly the way we did it. This is the way that we chose to do it and we feel will fit our needs. There are a ton of different ways to kind of put this together. You can do smaller tanks, bigger bins, smaller bins, depending on the scale of your rat colony and how much you are going to be feeding at one time. So for our setup, these are the things that you will need. You will need a snap-in tire valve stem, an inflatable chuck for easy on and off application to the valve stem, an air hose to hook up, the carbon dioxide regulator, a CO2 tank. We used a 20-gallon tank, the female to male brass adapter, and a low profile bucket of your choice. We chose to go with the 18 quart that you're gonna see later on in the video. For the CO2 tank, depending on what size you decide to go with, don't forget to check the certification date. They usually need to be recertified every 3 to 5 years. I forget exactly what the date is. I'll put it on the screen down below right here. But they need to be recertified every so often. The tank that we got off of Amazon, even though it was a brand new tank, the certification was outdated. So I took it to our local cylinder place and I had it recertified and filled for $100 even. I believe the recertification was about 60-ish, and then the rest was the price for the fill up. The easiest way to check for the recertification is going to be these little etch marks on here. They will usually have a date and say, or they will have a sticker. Now this is the new sticker that was just put on for the place that we had ours recertified. So that is their certification sticker that they placed on there. So what they do when they recertify it is they essentially pressure test it. They either hook up hoses or put it in a machine, I don't know which, and they check for leaks and cracks or anything else that might be wrong with the tank or the valve on top. And that is very important because obviously if CO2 leaks in your house or if you have this kept in the same room as your rats, could essentially kill anything that's in that room if you have a big enough tank, or if it has a crack, you could get a slow leak, or if you have a crack and for some reason this got bumped or dropped, then you risk of a total implosion or explosion, I guess you could say. So it's very important to keep the certification up on these. Most places won't even refill them unless the certification is up to date anyways, as a safety precaution. So always check the recertification date when you are acquiring tanks. A lot of times you can find used tanks on Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace. Just always check when you're looking at price. Just always check on the recertification date. Sometimes even used tanks will be a little bit more because they were recently recertified, or if they haven't been recertified, then maybe you can find them a little bit cheaper. So it just depends. Okay, so now that we have our filled and pressure tested tank and all of our supplies, now we are gonna put everything together to make this functional. All right, so time for a little voiceover. My husband is taking off the original connector for the air hose and putting on the inflatable chuck. When applying brass fittings, it is always a good idea to put on thread seal tape. This will allow a snug fit without over tightening the brass fitting. If you over tighten a brass fitting, you will damage the threads. And voila, all done and fitted. On to the next step. We have our 18-quart bucket and a step bit in our cordless hand drill, and we are going to drill a hole for our valve stem to snap into place. My husband has measured the diameter of the hole of the valve stem and is now marking the step bit with some tape in order to not drill too far. If you drill too far, then the valve will not seat properly when you push it and snap it in.
You gotta be careful because this thing goes fast, especially in plastic. And because it's an air, we want the hole in the plastic smaller, not bigger. Can't have a loose fit.
Because this bucket does not have a gasket sealing the top, it is not necessary to drill any additional holes. The hubby is just checking that the inflatable chuck fits snugly and properly on the valve stem. We got our regulator on our tank. You are gonna need a good size wrench to make sure you tighten this down efficiently. So now we have our male to female adapter that we're gonna go ahead and put on. And then we are also gonna get a wrench and tighten that down. As you saw, we did our bucket with our valve stem. So there is our nice valve stem. And we have our hose that gets connected right here, which I'm not gonna put that on right this second. And then this little quick connect piece allows you to easily put that on there and take it off so you can remove your bucket from wherever you are doing it. Just press that and it comes right off. And that is why we did the quick connect, so we don't have to worry about screwing on and unscrewing another adapter. And this makes this for easy cleaning. We can take it outside or take it to the sink and easily clean it and won't have to worry about this little pop-in adapter. It is just rubber and water is not gonna hurt it. So another thing I forgot to show you is we are gonna put this on right now, but this is just like any other air hose, and it has the quick connect fitting, so you can easily take the air hose off and hang it on the side if you want to for easy storage. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on and show you a little bit more on how that works. All right, we've got our adapter on here, nice and snug. And then this is the hose. And just like any other air hose, it's got this quick, see if I can get it on here with one hand. There we go, nice and snug. And then all I did for easy storage is we have these little cable cuffs that we use for some of our extension cords and other cables. And it's nicely wrapped and hooked to this little handle that ours came with. So that's nice and tidy, and we can just set it in a safe spot. And we can just store our bucket near or around it. And so that is our little euthanization chamber. So that is how you build an appropriate euthanization chamber for your rats if you were going to be feeding them. Now, in a lot of states, you need to check with your state and local laws. In some states, this is the only way that you can euthanize rats. I have heard instances where people don't euthanize their rats correctly or in this manner, depending on their state laws, and they, animal welfare or whatever it's called in your individual state, can actually come in and confiscate not only your rat colony, but as well as all of your reptiles or animals in your household. So you need to make sure that you check your state and local laws on how to properly euthanize rats. This is usually the safest way, no matter what state you live in. And it is the only approved way of euthanizing rats by the American Veterinary Medical Association. So just keep that in mind. As far as the concentration and regulation for when you are euthanizing, that will depend on the size bucket you have. You want to create a 30 to 40% concentration, and you want to hold that for about 3 minutes to cause the rat to go unconscious and ultimately die. Now, if you cause that concentration to go over 50%, it will actually cause the rat pain, eye irritation, and physical pain, and that's not what we're going for. And if the concentration is too low, in that 20% range and for only 1 to 2 minutes, that will just cause the rat unconscious. It will not kill the rat. So, unfortunately, the first few times, depending on the size of your bucket, you might need to experiment a little bit, but we are going for the 30 to 40% concentration for at least 3 minutes. Just keep that in mind. There is a few forums where you can kind of check maybe what other people have done with the size bucket that you have. I'll drop on the screen right here what we put ours at for that 3 minutes for the 18-quart bucket that I have listed in the description below. So if you want to get exactly our setup so you don't have to work through any of those issues, then you can just go ahead and do our exact setup. All right, so thank you for watching. I hope this was informational and gave you an idea of how to set up a euthanization chamber to euthanize rats, whether it's for breeding a reptile collection or if maybe you just need to have this set up for veterinary purposes, whatever your needs are. I hope this was helpful and informational. So thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay sane, and get out there and make your own footprints. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.